Welcome to PlayStation News, Rumours and Leaks. Let's take a look at what's been happening over the last few days in the world of gaming. Guys, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, strap yourselves in, and let's get cracking. During the Game Awards, Sega made an incredible announcement, and it did it in such a way that fans are really still processing what's happening. In one swoop, it announced a whole bunch of new games, including Jet Set Radio, Streets of Rage, a personal favourite Golden Axe and Shinobi, and Crazy Taxi games. Back in the days, Golden Axe and Shinobi were two of my favourite games growing up. While it's been rumoured that Sega would return to some of these franchises, for it to happen all at once is something fans could never have predicted. It's a different kind of announcement from Sega for lots of reasons, but one very welcomed by fans and quite intentional, according to Sega of America CEO and co-chief operating officer for Sega, Shuji Utsumi. In a recent interview with the Washington Post, Utsumi talks about how he wants to bring the company back to its more rebellious Dreamcast era days. He talks about how the landscape of players in the industry is as such that players are looking for weirder concepts. The idea that we used to see from plenty of studios, including PlayStation in the past, but at present we're seeing less and less with each new year. We really want to show edginess and a rebellious mindset, says Utsumi. He highlighted Jet Set Radio in particular, talking to how much of a unique idea the game was in the first place, something exemplified even further by the recent Bomb Rush Cyberpunk title, which was essentially a modern day Jet Set Radio. Utsumi also adds a confirmation that Jet Set Radio's original creators are involved in this new title. The concept of games like Jet Set Radio is advanced. The original creators are involved again, and it's time now. It's a good time where people can appreciate all kinds of concepts. For those curious as to why new Futura Game Fighter was absent from the show, Utsumi talked about how they're currently evaluating what the approach will be towards this game. He goes on to say that we're evaluating right now. Virtua Fighter doesn't use so many tricks, special moves like in Street Fighter. Virtua Fighter is more of a realistic game. How can we make it more dramatic? That is something we're working on. It's clear the announcement during the Game Awards show is likely the beginning of something new and hopefully exciting times for Sega fans. After all, it's always good to see more studios in the industry looking to try something new. I hope Sega bring back a new console. I really do. I want them to do so badly and make their own console. I don't think it's going to happen, but just imagine if we did. Imagine we got a new Sega Dreamcast or a Sega Mega Drive or a Sega system, a new one. Bloody hell, that would be phenomenal. It's not going to happen, but you can only dream, right? Anyway, moving on. The Game Awards seem to cause some kind of controversy every year. This year, the sticking point with viewers is that once again, the actual developers winning the awards were not given enough of the spotlight. And when they got on stage, music began soon after, as if it was time for the winners to get off stage. So it was all very messy, and it was as if the hosts or the organisers were trying to avoid Chris Judge's 8-minute speech from last year's show. So as soon as somebody got onto the stage to claim their prize, I don't know, they had a few seconds or a minute or so and the music started playing straight away. So I think they did it to keep the show running, you know, keep that fluidity going. But needing to keep the show running is one thing, but viewers spoke about how they disliked how bluntly the winners, the developers, were meant to be celebrating. They were then played off stage, and Jeff Keighley goes on to agree. He goes on to say, by the way, I do agree that the music was played too fast for the award winners this year. Keighley began on Twitter adding that, asked our team to relax the rule as the show went on. He also stipulates that while no one was actually cut off, it's something to address going forward. And no one was actually technically cut off is a weak defense, considering that it's not a far stretch to believe that those on stage felt like they had to rush once the music began. Keighley also claims that the crew running the show was asked to give the acceptance speeches more time, though there's no definitive sign that winners were actually given more time. Hopefully Keighley does at least properly address this issue for next year's show. I mean, it wasn't a bad show. It was actually one of the best Game Awards shows that I can remember. But, you know, he does a good job, Keighley, and each year they have to always make improvements, and next year let's hope they improve on this one and make it an even better show. Guys, if you like the video so far or find the video interesting or informative, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. That really helps out the video a great deal. If you want to support me as a content creator, then consider becoming a channel member. I'll leave a link down below in the description on becoming a channel member. Be sure to check it out. Moving on, the second season of HBO's The Last of Us adaptation will air in 2025. It is now being confirmed. As part of the new sizzle reel showcasing HBO's upcoming slate of shows and original series, the company shared a little teaser for what fans can expect in 2025. In a clever little bit of editing, the clip shown for the series shows Bella Ramsey's Ellie from season 1 stating, "We finish what we started." There's also a clicker in the snippet trailer. Filming for The Last of Us next season is due to start early next year during a Night in the Writers' Room panel held earlier this month. Showrunner and series co-creator Craig Mazin confirmed production for Series 2 will begin on 12th of February. There were previously reports that filming was expected to kick off in January. However, due to Pedro Pascal's busy schedule, this date had to be shifted a slight touch. When the series does air, it will not cover the entirety of events from The Last of Us Part 2. Rather, The Last of Us Part 2's narrative will be spread across multiple seasons, Mazin confirmed earlier this year. The new edition will include the lost levels, of which Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann has said could turn up in the show. A beefed up remastered version of the game will also be arriving with the new roguelike survival mode, No Return. I'm glad that they are taking their time with the HBO Last of Us series. I think everything that happens in both games, if they're going to try and stay true in some essence to the games, then they need to spread that out over at least 4 or 5 seasons. I'm sure there will be spin-off storylines and new characters and kind of new arcways, which will be great to see as the seasons go on. I'm keen to see what else they can do in The Last of Us world. Moving on to our final piece, Bungie developers are reportedly worried about the future and what that holds for the company as its independent relationship to Sony comes into question. According to a recent report, Bungie developers speaking under the condition of anonymity have described the mood within the studio as soul-crushing. This is following the massive round of layoffs within the company. In 2022, Sony officially completed its $3.7 billion acquisition of Bungie and said at the time that Bungie would remain fully independent in how it runs things. However, according to reports, various employees were told that the current board at Bungie, which is split between Sony and Bungie representatives, is contingent on Bungie meeting certain financial goals. Should those goals not be met, sources within Bungie told IGN that Sony would be allowed to dissolve the existing board and take full control of the company. Fears of a potential takeover are what many at the company believe led to Bungie's massive round of layoffs earlier this year. Despite the moves, employees remain frustrated and angry that more layoffs could come in the future. As one anonymous developer said, Destiny 2's upcoming expansion, The Final Shape, which was recently delayed further into 2024, is a big deal for the company and one that, if not successful, could mean more layoffs. We all know we need Final Shape to do well, one source told IGN, and the feeling at the studio is that if it doesn't, we'll definitely look at more layoffs. When it came to the layoffs, developers also said that they felt discouraged from even discussing them. Another developer said that during a post-layoff Q&A session with the department heads, leadership was asked if they had considered taking salary cuts to stop layoffs from happening, to which they were told that Bungie was not the type of company to do that. It sounds like a complete mess if you ask me. Maybe the board should be dissolved and Sony introduce a new board. These layoffs are terrible and you have to feel for the devs forced to leave the studio. It's a tough time out there in the ever-changing world of gaming. Let's hope the situation is sorted out quickly and amicably as possible for all concerned. That's going to do it for the video, guys. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments section. Thank you for watching. If you could do me a favor whilst you're here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll catch you on the next PlayStation news, rumors and leaks video.